geniusly dumb, you know?
The crossover between skateboarding, graffiti, surfing, maybe like punk rock, is that those are all groups of people that I don't think ever, they always were do-it-yourself people. And I think that's why they're interested in each other more than, maybe rather than anything more than that.
When I got out to New York, I looked at graffiti the same way that I looked at, punk rock art in LA. You know, it was like the total do-it-yourself art made by kids, no rules, not in the gallery, lawless art that inspired me.
What really got me into making art the way I make it now was, since there were no punk record stores, I couldn't buy a Sex Pistols shirt or a Clash shirt, so I started making my own t-shirts.
It's just from my experience in high school was always about a book. Like, these teachers had this book and they were teaching you the book. And I watched them, how they taught you the book. They make you read the book, and then they ask you questions about the book, and you get graded if you know a lot about the book. And so I was like, well, I can do this on my own. Like, if I just get a book on something, I can read it and learn it. There wasn't anyone telling me the right or wrong way to do a certain thing or to use a paint in a certain way. It just all came through making mistakes and messing up and learning it your own way, making sucky paintings.
What a tremendous act of faith it was for Ed Templeton to start painting. You know, what a tremendous act of faith it was for a lot of people to start painting just because they had to. You know, like, who would take Ed Templeton seriously when he started painting? Who would take Chris Johansson seriously when he started painting? Aaron Rosewood.
When you come from a culture that's like made by kids for kids, you don't think about, I can't do this. That's never really a question, you know, because there were no other options to get your information or to do things. You had to do it yourself because there was nobody else doing it. I didn't even know how an art gallery ran, you know, or what. I didn't even really know that it sold art. Nobody wanted to buy that art. Nobody cared. I was offered this storefront space, and it was just like a crash pad at first, but then the front of it had a window onto the street, and so we started talking like, yeah, we should do stuff with this thing, you know, because whatever, it'll be fun. And so we just started having like parties with art on the walls, basically.
And like every night drinking, or every night we would just show up at the gallery and bug Aaron, you know? And we were pretty stupid and great, you know, awesomely dumb. Like, awesomely not caring a fuck about our careers or anything like that. It was really about how to be less bored, how to do a lot for not a lot of money, and are there any girls around, and is there any stuff around that's cool to look at?
It was basically a hole in the wall. There was rats crawling around the walls, and the sink was moldy and gross, and he had like a little loft like that he slept in there, and just like crazy life, you know, like full, like dedicated to art life.
I was going to New York putting up posters and stickers and stencils, but I didn't know anybody really in New York. I didn't know anything about the scene, and when I went to Alleged, in the matter of like a night, I met all sorts of people that I'd looked up to. I just thought, well, that's like the New York phenomenon. You know, I kind of felt like I was just walking into that Mick Rock photo of a party with Iggy Pop and Lou Reed and Andy Warhol.
I felt always like I was part of a larger thing that would encompass a lot of people. And all of those energies of all these individuals and all of their unique talents and unique contacts is what came together to make that thing happen.
It was fun to to put your things in a venue and have a whole audience of people come and just purely go into your world.
I saw this once. My niece, she painted this great picture of a cow, and me and my sister were flipping out. Oh my God, that's so amazing! We framed it and put it on the wall. What that did to her being was right before your eyes. She was just like a flower, you know, because she was encouraged, you know, and like to make more, you know. And you could take that same kid and go, yes, thanks, and that kid's probably not going to paint another picture, you know, and that's what Alleged was. It was just like, you know, make some more, do some more, because it was the stakes. There were no stakes. There was no money. It wasn't about that, you know. It was just about making stuff.
You know, some people were making movies, some were drawing, some were painting, photographers, and, you know, people were in bands and stuff. I guess he saw a kind of correlation to what everyone was doing, and that there was a kind of relationship to it, and that, to my surprise, that maybe perhaps there was even some kind of importance to that moment in time.
Sometimes I think hard about it, my poor lot in life, or if God thinks highly of me or not so much. I knew this one girl who, she told me about meeting Bruce Willis one day and asking for his autograph. And once I seen that guy, Phil Collins, buying a pair of cowboy boots, or I don't think that much the way a girl don't talk to me, or if she thinks something bad about me.
I mean, the reason I made movies is because no one else was showing me the types of things I wanted to see. You know, no one else was like creating the images that I wanted to see projected. So it's more like you just, you know, you want to see something, you make it. I mean, first and foremost for yourself and your friends, I guess, you know. And I guess if other people were doing it, I wouldn't do it.
Tomer sees everything. Some say he's downright evil. He's got what it takes to be a legend. He's got a marvelous persona.
My aspiration as far as that goes, you know, doing humongous films and having big successes, I mean, it's never been important to me.
But don't look at anybody, only the dog.
As long as I can just keep doing what I want to do and creating the images that I have in my head, I think I'll be all right.
Well, in 1992, we did a show in the gallery called Minimal Tricks. That was a skateboard art show. Basically, like, I got in touch with some people and they sent me art and skateboards to hang on the wall, and it was it was a pathetic show, you know. But I guess because no one had ever done that before here, and it was sort of like an oddity to New York, that whole culture or whatever, we got written up in Thrasher magazine. Because we got that right at a gallery in LA, read it, and hey, sorry. Yeah, we got that right up in Thrasher, and then a gallery in LA saw that article, and then they offered to bring that show to a gallery in Hollywood. And that was when it started to really, like, hit, where it's like, whoa, this is, like, what we're doing here. Like, people are into this.
So you go, skate art show. Of course there's a skate art show. And then from then on, it's just of course. Like, of course Mark Gonzalez has an awesome show, and his art's awesome. Of course, like, Mike Mills has a show. But then it's almost like that stuff became kind of like of course to everybody. Then I feel like I gotta start paying more close attention because it was something you just kind of took for granted. And I think that like for a long time, like I saw Thomas's work and I always knew about Thomas Campbell, but I never really knew exactly what it was like, you know, for like way longer than it should have been. And I felt like really uneducated, you know, like just not seeing a lot of the stuff.
What am I? I don't know. Whatever. Doodler. Filmmaker. In general, I like to be by the ocean, and this feels right, you know. It's what I'm from. I'm from it, you know, like, it's home. Like, some people need to be in cities and need, like, a lot of commotion around them to get inspired. No, I don't need that. Like, I'm inspired. Like, I want to make stuff wherever I am. I grew up in a place called Dana Point, which in the early 70s, it was kind of a very rural beach town in Southern California, right between Los Angeles and San Diego. And God, it was so beautiful. It was a gorgeous place. You could just walk in the hills for days.